Hey everyone, Frank Kane here, and as you know, I teach a lot about AWS, Amazon Web Services, specifically in the field of data engineering and AI. And I think people aren't talking enough about this new Agent Toolkit that AWS dropped to make life even easier. So now you can do all of your agentic development and data analysis and data engineering right from within Claude Code or your framework of choice. So you can see here they have this GitHub repo where they kind of give you the documentation, and it's very easy to set this up. So for Claude Code, for Codex, for Kiro, whatever you want, or if you want to integrate it into something else, they make an MCP server available as well. And this can pretty much let you do anything you can dream up in AWS from your command line interface. What does that mean for the future? Do we need UIs at all going forward? I don't know. Maybe we can just all do this from the command line, and it kind of blurs the lines between software engineering and data analysis as well. So kind of a weird world we're getting into, but let's play with it. Let's kind of see what it does. So you can see here, installation is pretty darn simple. First of all, let's pull up Claude. So I've made an empty new directory in my F drive here, and I've called it AWS Skills very creatively. And I'm just gonna, there's nothing in there right now except for some sample data that I'm gonna play with. And this is already up in S3 for me. Now, if you follow my courses before, you know that I have an example that I like to use of simulating Lieutenant Commander data from Star Trek. And the irony is just rich with that, because if you're not familiar with it, Star Trek The Next Generation was a science fiction TV show in the United States, and one of the main characters was an artificially intelligent android named Commander Data. And if you're wondering why Americans say data instead of data, that's why. But what I've done is pre-process that data, I did it again, into this format here. And this was originally used to do fine-tuning of a model in one of my classes. So you can see we've structured this thing into a JSON lines format with empty prompts and completions, where I've extracted every single line of dialogue that data made in the show here. So the first thing he ever said on the show was, "Difficult, how so? Simply solve the mystery of Farpoint Station," and so on and so forth. So the idea is that if we actually have a AI system that is built around a vector store of this information, we can simulate how data would talk. And the first step to that is making that vector store. So let's see if we can do that from just within Claude Code. First, we need to actually install the skills. So let me pull up these instructions here on the side here, and let's spark up Claude. Now, I'm assuming you already have the AWS CLI installed, because it's going to be built on top of that, of course. And to install this, all we need to do is say /plugin install aws-core at Claude plugins official. It is official. And it will tell you a little bit about it. I do want to install for me at the user scope. And one thing is I'm not going to automatically accept changes while I'm working with this stuff. So the thing with AWS is that it costs real money, right? So we do want to be careful about reviewing everything we do. We also want to install the AWS agents. Why not? It'll give me the same sort of information. Go ahead and do it. And we'll also do AWS Data-Analytics. And we'll go ahead and install that as well. So just to give you kind of a high-level thing, AWS Core is what it sounds like. That's going to let you do things like cloud formation, setting up serverless stuff, talking to S3, SDK usage and deployment stuff. AWS Agents is specifically going to give you Bedrock and Agent Core capabilities, assuming you have an Agent Core already installed. And AWS Data Analytics, which is what I'm going to be playing with mostly here, is going to give you access to things like S3 tables or S3 vectors and, dealing with data lakes and analytics jobs and Glue and Athena, the data analytics side of the house there. So you don't have to fuss around with all the UI and AWS console with this anymore. You can just do it all straight from Claude Code and use Claude to help guide you toward making the right decisions as well. All right, so in theory, this should just work right now. So I can say things like, well, I already have an S3 bucket where I put this information here called sundog-sagemaker. Let's tell me what's in it. So tell me what is in my Sundog SageMaker bucket. Let's say S3 bucket, just to be clear. Interesting. So not only is it giving me a directory of what's in this bucket, it's telling me what it is. Like it's actually giving me some insights as to what this data might be. And it is correctly saying that within my fm-movie lens directory within that bucket, I have some old movie lens data, which is interesting. And it's also saying that I do have a fine-tuning data, which is exactly what that is with data lines prepare.jsonl. Very interesting. So let's tell it to do something with this. So in my other courses, I kind of did this the hard way. We actually wrote a script to ingest that data, that JSON line format. We would then go ahead and create a vector store for that data, create embeddings using an embedding model, and then storing that into a vector index. And this involved a fair amount of code or a fair amount of fiddling around in the console. But I can just say, do it right now, right? So let's say, for example, create an S3 vector store containing embeddings for the dialog in the data lines prepared.jsonl file. Now, that's a loaded question, right? Because there's a lot of choices you have to make before you actually do that. What kind of chunking strategy is appropriate for this? You know, what choice of model would make sense for the embedding? So why don't I just make sure that it asks me first? What embedding model and chunking strategy would be appropriate for this data? And one thing that confuses Claude sometimes in my Windows environment here is that I'm not using the Windows Python 3 command, but an Anaconda Python command. And I'm just going to tell it parenthetically here. By the way, if you need to run Python code in this session, use the Python command from Anaconda, not the Python 3 Windows command. If you're on Linux, of course, that won't be necessary. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and copy that data down locally. Fine, go for it. So I think the strategy here is for it to download that data, kind of understand its structure, and going to use the S3 vector skill that we installed to figure out how to go about doing this. Yes, I said you could go ahead and download that. And it's just kind of analyzing the size of that data, 6,276 lines, and it's sampling the first five, or the last 5 lines, it seems. And it has some statistics here on what that data will look like. So it's written a little bit of a script here to figure out that analysis. And based on that information, it will make some recommendations about what chunking makes sense. And I already know the answer, because these are just short lines of dialogue, and to maintain their semantic meaning, you probably don't want to break them up at all. So let's see if it agrees and says that, yeah, we should just break this up 1 line per chunk. And that's exactly what it said. So it came back and said, hey, these are short lines of dialogue. Each line is semantically coherent, and you probably don't want to split them up. And why not just use the Amazon Titan Text Embeddings v2 model? Honestly, there's not a whole lot of choices to make there, although it is specifically saying 256 instead of 1024 dimensions. And that's actually useful information. So it's saying, hey, you know, to be cost effective, you don't really need more than 256 dimensions in your vectors. Anything else will be overkill. And my instinct might have been to go to a higher dimension like 1024. So thank you, Amazon skills. That was helpful. All right, so now it needs to figure out how to actually build what I asked for with this S3 vector store. And it needs to know what region I'm in first. So sure, go ahead and find that out. It's US East 1. I could have told you. Yes, that's what it is. And now it's going to get to work. It's going to create that S3 vector bucket for me, and it's going to came up with a name for it that's reasonable. Sundog Dialog Vectors. I would have liked to have had a chance to choose that name myself, but whatever, we can change it later. In US East 1 with encryption default and 256 dimensions. Yes, that works. So it's going to go ahead and create the bucket, and then it's going to have to go about the work of creating those embedding vectors and putting them in it and indexing them. So with an S3 vector bucket, you also need an index associated with it. So it's going to take care of that as well. Go ahead and create the bucket, and then I assume it will make the index within the bucket. There's the create index step. Again, specifying the number of dimensions that's consistent with the embedding model that I chose of 256. This is crazy. It's kind of taken some of the thinking away from you. Like, what is the future of AWS certifications if you don't have to think about this stuff anymore? Interesting to think about. All right, so it wrote me a script to actually do it all. Let's see what it's actually doing here. Pretty cool. Not a whole lot to wrap your head around, so let's just double check it again. We don't want to put all of our faith in here, and this could cost some money. Batch size of 100, that's reasonable. We only have 6,000 lines, so it's not going to be too crazy. We're creating this bucket name. I guess I could change that there if I wanted to. Index name is associated with it, going into a specific S3 bucket. And key, that's where it's getting the data from, I suppose. So it'll start by downloading that data out of my S3 bucket. And it will go ahead and generate those embeddings using the model that we chose. And it's all doing this in Python, which is nice because I am very familiar with that language. Handling some exceptions automatically and building up the batches in it. I mean, it looks like it should work. So let's go ahead and run it. How cool is that? I didn't have to write that myself. Yep, go for it. Now, while we're waiting for this to finish, I do want to call out the individual plugins here that are part of the AWS skills. So like I said, we have core, agents, and data analytics. And let's take a closer look at data analytics here, for example. And you can see here a little bit more information about what its capabilities are. So I can do things like create managed iceberg tables on S3 tables. So that's kind of the new preferred way of storing structured data in S3, using S3 tables, using Iceberg under the hood. We can also use that for ingesting data from S3, JDBC, Snowflake, DynamoDB, Glue, whatever you want. And we can also use that for doing data discovery across Redshift or S3 tables or remote Iceberg tables as well. We can use S3 vectors like we're doing right now, and we can also connect to external databases from Oracle or SQL Server or whatever you want. Snowflake, BigQuery, RDS, whatever it might be. So some specific skills under the hood, and you don't have to refer to these by names necessarily, it should just use them, are listed here. So we can create new data lake tables using S3 tables and Iceberg. We can ingest into that data lake. We can query that data lake. We can find the assets within that data lake. We can explore the data catalog. And we can also do stuff with vectors like we're doing right now and connect to external data sources. So, and also there's an MCP server if you want to connect to that directly. So well, if you want more information about these plugins, just head over to the GitHub and you can dig into them. So more about AWS Core here, which does pretty much everything in the kitchen sink. And also we have, of course, the AWS Agents plugin, which specifically can build agents for you using Bedrock automatically. And this is still chugging along, taking a little bit longer than I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video and come back when it's finished. All right, so it finished. Took about 20 minutes, which is more than I thought. And that is my own fault because apparently what it did was it made one API call per embedding request. So for every single line of dialogue, it said, hey, go make an embedding vector instead of batching that up. I should have caught that. So the price I paid was about 20 minutes of my time and maybe paying a little bit more than I should have, even though embeddings are cheap. Earlier I asked, is it still important to understand the fundamentals and how to optimize these systems, given that Claude and these skills can do a lot of the thinking for you? Well, the answer is yes. You still need to review what it's doing and make sure that it's making optimal decisions in the code that it's writing. So it did finish successfully, and we can go ahead and check that on the console. So I can see here from the Amazon S3 vector buckets, I do indeed have a new Sundog dialog vectors bucket, which contains a TNG dialog index. And I could go ahead and write a little test thing in, Bedrock using a knowledge base to see if it works. But it turned out that Claude did that for me using the AWS skills. So it went ahead and created a script to test that. It wrote a little script that actually searches for dialogue about friendship and service, ran that for me automatically. And it came back with a relevant result of, it is a reminder of friendship and service. That's an actual line that data said, apparently. And that seemed to work pretty darn well. It summarized what it did. It said that I made this bucket with this index with this number of dimensions and stored that number of vectors. And we used the cosine distance metric. And sure enough, it worked. So I could go ahead and use this further for building my own agent and building my own little commander data from scratch here if I wanted to. But again, I will leave that as an exercise for the viewer. But how cool is that? Tools like Claude Code or Codex or Kiro can be paired with these new AWS skills and their MCP server to make dealing with AWS services around data analytics and AI agents really, really easy. And that's the takeaway for you in this video.